I am live. Hey everybody, how are you all doing? It's Monday and it's Huddle Time with Ronit. Hope you guys are all doing really great and had a really great beginning for your week. It's been an eventful couple of weeks. A lot of new events, live events, public events have been across the country. We had Cosmoprof in Las Vegas, still going on. And we had Behind the Chair last weekend, and we have Americans Beauty Shows coming up. So really exciting to be back and have some really good friendship and good education live and not digital. And that's what we're going to talk about today. A lot of great stuff. So for anybody who's joining us, hello, it's Monday night and I'm super excited for you guys to be here. This is Huddle Time with Ronit, and every week we come here live bringing you a lot, many great people in the industry, outside the industry, who are sharing with us a lot of great tips, great lessons, wins, and sometimes not so many wins. Everything from wellness, everything from business, from entrepreneurs all over the world, sharing with us what can we do to better our careers? What can we do to better our businesses? What can we do to better our life? And today we have a great guest. As you know, we have Larisa Love on the show today, and I'm super stoked to talk to her because I've known her for a long time, and I know you have been knowing Larisa Love for a long time, and Larisa has done many things in our industry. So I'm psyched to share with her, with you guys, Larisa, and our conversation today. But not before, we're going to say thank you to our sponsors, our great sponsors and partners, Americans Beauty Shows, a beauty show who has been sponsoring us and being our partners since the beginning of Huddle Time with Ronit. And if you have not yet to purchase your ticket to our show, you don't want to miss it, because guess what? Hotel rooms are running out. And this is going to be a phenomenal 3 days of so much education, amazing amount of education. We're going to have live education. Larisa is going to be on the stage. Sam is going to be on the stage. Cherry Peterbang is going to be on the stage. Business classes on the stage. Olivia is going to be on the stage. I mean, there's just so much. Go to the website, Americans Beauty Show, or just type the 800 number that you can purchase immediately tickets to Americans Beauty Show. And with that, you get a whole year of membership with all digital education and even the repeat of education for our show. So you don't want to miss that. So go ahead and do it. Don't even wait. This is the time to do it. And I also want to say thank you for our sponsor, Textile. Textile mission is to help you engage with your customers the way they want to, the way the customers want to. And right now, most of our customers really appreciate texting. And Textile is a great product that can integrate with so many software to help you communicate internally with your staff, which is amazing, and externally with your consumers, which is what the consumer would love to have. So Textile has been a sponsor of Huddle Time and Americans Beauty Show. And of course, Salon Cadence. Salon Cadence is a white glove training, a network, a global network community of amazing experts that delivers a white glove training and coaching for salon and spa owners, from anyone from as a solopreneur who wants to become a company that has more than 2 employees, all the way to bigger companies that are needing to become a much more profitable company and have a little bit more joy than what we've been having recently. So if there's anything you would like to explore, please come and visit me at Ronit's Coaching and on Instagram, and everything is going to be right here on our link very soon. I hope we're going to see it very soon on that link on our Facebook. So without further ado, let me bring here our greatest guest, Larisa Love, to Huddle Time with Ronit. How you doing?
Hello, thank you for having me. What an honor.
Well, it's so good to have you here. I've been stalking you for quite time. First it was through texting, then it was through emails. And I finally have you just before we are going to launch Americans Beauty Show. And I'm so excited to be there live, not through digital. How do you feel about that?
Oh my God, you have no idea. I'm like dying to see all the beautiful people, be around that energy. I feel like it's been so long, especially for people that travel so much and are in that energy at all times. I feel like it's been so hard to it be taken away from you so drastically. So I'm really excited. I'm excited just to be there, to meet people, hug people in person, see them in person, and just like you said, teaching live in an audience and not just through the phone.
It's amazing, and you've been an educator for a long time. How, how long have you been actually educating? And it might not have been just through hair, because I feel like you are a teacher, a natural born teacher. And
Thank you.
so how when did you start teaching? Period.
It's so funny because when I started doing hair, and this is when social media just came out about 10, 11 years, I started seeing, a little, like few educators coming out, and I'm like, I don't ever want to teach. I used to say that all the time. I don't ever want to teach because all my techniques are self-taught for the most part. I'm like, I don't want to give away my techniques, but it's so funny now that that's my main job as I travel the world and I'm teaching. It's so funny. Never say never because things can really change. I would say the first class I ever taught was about 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago. And it was a class I didn't want to teach. They begged me to be part of it. And I was like, okay, I'll teach something really tiny, something small and, common sense, I should say. And I fell in love with teaching because, you can give the chef all the ingredients, but they're not going to cook it the same. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when we teach and educate and give our tips and tricks, it just elevates the industry. It doesn't take anything away from you. If anything, it's going to elevate you even more in our industry. So I fell in love with it 7, 8 years ago. I just saw how the students really gravitated towards all the little things that I had to say that were so little, minuscule in my mind, but it was such a big deal for them. And it just changed the way I thought about educating and teaching in the long run because it just helps everyone all around. And it's incredible. So 7, 8 years ago, and I'm still here doing it and loving every minute of it.
And there's something probably really rewarding about the whole teaching part of it. And I was thinking about you with the dogs and take them for dogs walk, like a really quick one. And I was thinking about you have been with people for a long time, and we are in the people industry, so we are with people a long time. But for the past year and a half, we've been doing a lot of things digitally, and here we are. We're almost there. We're going to be live. We're going to be together live, but yet there's a lot of us that feel very comfortable to be at home too, to do the digital world. You probably were traveling so much that for some point you probably felt like, oh, Carmen, this is nice to be at home and not travel so much.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. The first shutdowns, we had 3 shutdowns here in LA. The first shutdown, I was like, wow. I feel like a lot of people didn't realize how go their lives were until we had to stop. And I was like, wow, I actually really needed this, break. But after the second, third shutdown, I was going crazy because that's not what I'm used to. And, what I love about our industry is that we do get to travel the world. We do get to meet all these incredible people. We're around this energy, this atmosphere at all times. And, that's part of the reason why I became a hairdresser or why I love it so much is because of that world. Mm. And so when it got taken away from me and from all of us, it was hard. But that break was definitely much needed, but too long of a break. I'm ready to get back at it. Let's go. I'm sure you feel the same way.
I do. I feel good. What do you think the future is going to be? I mean, I think we're going to be in this trial mode for 2 or 3 years. How do you see this affecting us in our world?
I don't think that hairdressing or hair shows will ever be the same. Or as many as they used to be. I think we're really going to pick and choose the main shows that they're going to be creating. And if, God forbid, even that, who knows? Even going to ABS, I feel like is such like a reward. It's such a blessing, and who knows if that will keep happening. I think it just really depends what's going to happen in our future with COVID and all that. But everything is so unknown. I think a lot of things are going to be more digital, even more than they were. Thank God for, you know, the internet.
Yeah.
Thank God that we can stream and do all that. But I don't think things will ever be the same. And this is a new norm that we gotta kind of have to get used to it.
Yeah, I agree. What's nice about the ABS show, this one particularly, is they team up with Data Driven, which is great to have the two of them in there. But also, I think what's great is, and I don't know what you think about it, is the fact that it's smaller rooms, intimate rooms. Even the platform, I think the most that you feel very comfortable in the platform is up to like 100 people, and they set it up really comfortably. It's part of it is going to be outdoor, which I think is phenomenal. But it's really the intention behind it was to focus only on education.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the intimacy is going to be fabulous. I've spoken to so many salon owners and suite owners and stylists. A lot of people are feeling they're uninspired, that they need something, and they're not motivated. So and I'll tell you from my own experience with all our clients, we all trying to just like bring them some motivation or speaking engagement, and how everybody is podcast here, podcast there, live here, live there, on digital. But what they have not gotten is the actual education when it comes to touching hair, really seeing things that are happening in we're human species and we need that love.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, is the main I guess the ingredient that they're lacking?
I mean, I think when it goes back to like even the hair shows, I think the main ingredient in that is education, yes, but we get free education on social media at all times. There's so many videos and, tutorials. I think what the ingredient is when it comes to our industry is the connection, that intimate connection that of us being all together, being inspired by meeting all these people. I think the human connection is what is the main ingredient when it comes to really that. But when it comes to education, when it's live, it's not the same when you're actually doing it. When you're seeing it, you're like, oh, that's easy, or that's cool, that's different. But when you're doing it, that's when you're hands-on, that's when you really learn. But that's something that we kind of have to gravitate towards away from it, because I don't think there's going to be a lot of hands-on education like 101 anymore. It's going to be either on main stage where everyone's kind of far away, or live. But the main ingredient, I think, when it comes to all of this is the human connection.
Yeah. What do you now? You were not born in America. You were born in Ukraine.
Yeah, I was born in Ukraine, and my family won the Mesa lottery when I was 6 years old, and that's how we came to America. We basically won citizenship for my immediate family.
When was that? Was that a while ago when you came in?
I was 6, and I'm gonna be 32 next month. So yeah, a while.
It is a while. Now, I've been here 33 years. My whole family is back in Israel. So, for me, it was, I arrived here when I was 22.
Wow.
But I still feel I had to learn this whole language, the whole culture, everything together. And you brought your culture here, because you have your family. What is the difference that you find that you took from your culture and brought it into your salon that makes you you?
Our culture, Ukrainians, Russians, we're very straightforward. We don't like beat around the bush. We're not like so like sweet, and you know how I feel like Americans are so sweet and dainty, and that's what I love about them. But I feel like Russians, Ukrainians are so forward, and we kind of say how we feel, and that sometimes can hurt me for being too honest and too I guess forward. But I feel like that's what I brought to the industry, but also to the salon, is just being so forward and being honest, because I feel like when you're honest, that's when you truly care, instead of just sweetening it up to not hurt someone's feelings. Obviously, it approaches everything, but honesty and just being real, authentic is key.
Yeah, yeah. I think that the values that we get at home is what we bring to our salon, or what we bring into our teaching and all of that. So I think there's a lot of it to do, about how we show up into everything in our life. We were talking a little bit before we started the show, and we were talking about how it feels like we're going back into hustling again. Like as hairdresser, and I said, I think you're just as crazy as I am, where we work 24/7, and sometimes we feel like 24 hours in a day is just not enough to do everything. So what we felt like when we were back at home, in the shutdown, how nice it was to actually have a little bit more balance. And I'm looking at your personal life, and I see how in love you are with your husband, and how the two of you are a great couple. I'm looking at all of that, and I'm thinking, well, what's going on right now? Everybody is stressed again. Everybody is tied up again in our industries. It's almost like, have we learned anything? And what do you do to unstress? What's your thinking behind it, Larisa? Because I know we love to work, but we also love to play.
Yes, we do. Work hard, play hard. But, I feel like we over luxurize the fact that we overwork a lot. We find it, I feel like I hear a lot where we're like, oh my God, I work 12, 14 hours, and find that that's such a great thing to do that. The fact that we don't have time to eat or eat all day, we talk about it like it's a cool thing, and I think it's time, if anything, this shutdown, this, us having this break taught us anything, or should teach us anything, is to slow down a bit. I will say that, I didn't realize, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't either, how go they were with their lives until they had to slow down, until the shutdown. We had no other way of doing anything besides stopping what we were doing. And now I find that, yeah, I do work hard, but I've chilled out a lot, because we overdo it on our bodies emotionally, physically. It's draining, especially just being a hairdresser in general. It's draining because we're around people all the time. We're talking, especially also the ones that are traveling. It's a lot on our bodies. It takes a toll. And we need to stop over glamorizing how hard we work, how many hours, long hours, how we eat all day, because it's not cool, and what's cool is taking care of your body, is being healthy. And it's cool being a long-term hairdresser. And the only way you'll be a long-term hairdresser if you take care of your body now, not when it's needed to take care of, if that makes sense.
Oh, totally.
So I'm trying to chill out a little bit, slow down. I slow down on my hours, on my clients, on my days at the salon. Obviously slow down on traveling, but that wasn't anything on my hands. Mm-hmm. But I think we need to just stop over glamorizing overworking, because it's not cool.
I love that, especially coming from you, because everybody knows that you've been traveling like crazy, you're working really hard, and a hairdresser life is like that. I mean, for somebody like you, you've done a lot this year. I'd love for you to share with us what innovation and what things have you learned and implemented this year that are different than what you have done in the past, just before COVID, that set you apart and made you even more successful this year?
I would say I really started focusing more in the salon about the client's experience, instead of taking tons of clientele throughout the day, and focusing also on my experience. I find that I was overworking, not only in the traveling life and, educating life, all that, but when I would go to the salon, I would squeeze in all these clients because I didn't work in the salon as much. Yeah. I now find that, I'm going to take less clients, focus on the client's experience from the minute they walk into the door to the minute they leave. It's really about the client, but also it's about me as the artist, not feeling like I'm I'm tugged and pulled in so many different directions with so many different clients being here at once, but just truly focusing on the overall experience of my life and the client's life. And I find that me just even, I'm sorry, hold on. I'm sorry, let's see, someone's walking in here. Okay, I find that I've been getting a lot of Yelp reviews on how incredible the experience was, instead of just how incredible the hair was. Now I'm getting reviews on the actual experience, which is most important. I find that.
Oh, I like that. So that, I love that. Is it?
Okay, someone just randomly walked in and I don't know who that is, but we're good. We're good.
Well, I love what you just said, because every time I speak to somebody about, so what are you going to focus on? What are you going to do that is different? And they go to that route. Oh, we have to really improvise on the client personal experience and elevate the personal experience. Well, great. What does it mean? Well, what does it mean? Like, what are you doing that you have not done before, and you elevate that?
Mm-hmm.
So, some people will say that spending more time with the client, and some people will say no, spending less time with the client because they just don't want to be here as often. But getting reviews on personal experience is something I haven't heard before. I love to talk about it. How do we navigate to that? How do we get there? It's amazing.
Well, first and foremost, I take way less clients. I would say I take half of the clientele that I take within the day than I used to. I used to take up to 6, 8 full color transformations like a psycho, and each transformation can take anywhere from 5 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yes, I would double, triple book, but, and yeah, I would be making more revenue, but the client's experience wasn't there. And I always say good hair is only half of it. They can go on social media and find another great artist on there. What is it going to make you differentiate between another artist is the experience. So it's the little things about putting more time and attention into the client, being more there, because they are paying a lot of money for you to really focus on the details of their work. So I take less clients. I now have 2 co-artists, 2 assistants. And even though I take less clients, I hired another assistant. So that way no one has ever felt like they're left alone. So if I am double booked, which I normally do, one of my co-artists is still with my client while the other one is with me, or just filming or doing something. Something's always being taken care of and cleaned, and the salon looks great, the experience is great, the atmosphere is great. It's those little details. Then what I implemented was I created a styling menu and a food and a drink menu. Actually, let me grab it for you because I feel like I need to show it to you.
Okay, that sounds amazing.
Okay, so I implemented first a drinking menu. Those little things that, again, make a huge difference. So right when the client comes in, they get greeted, and I give them a mask and a little hand sanitizer. Again, those little details. They're custom made hand mask and hand sanitizer. And then my co-artist gives them this menu. And they have a variety of things that they can choose from, but it's those little things.
I love it. Can you get it closer? I want to see it closer. Hold on. This is beautiful. What a great. So they get a wine, a latte, and tea. Okay. And do you have all this in the salon?
Always. We restock weekly. And also when we bring out the coffee or the drink or whatever, it's also about the little details. So the way that they're brought out is with, flowers on the side, with the drink and, the sugar or whatever on the side, cream. It just has like beautiful detail to everything that we do. So we don't just give them the latte. It's like in this cute little tray with everything around it. And then we have a styling menu, which is, we call it, what is your vibe?
Oh, I love that.
So,
it's so cool. And that is your finishing work.
Yes. So once they're finally getting dried, we bring this up to them and we ask them, what is their vibe? And they have all these options to choose from just blowout to signature beachy curls, elegant soft waves, Don tassel curls, ocean ripple, relax and sleek. That way it's not like, how would you like to be styled? They have options. Again, details is what really I feel like will make you stand out from the rest, instead of just doing good hair, because that's not as important anymore as the actual experience of the client.
So in when I'm looking at it, you're obviously spending a little bit more time. So do you usually pre-book for that? So when you book your clients, so how do they book? Do they book online? Do they call in? How do you take that?
I actually book all of my clients individually myself still. I've been doing it for 11 years. And I find that when they try to book through like a website or something like that, they don't book correctly. I know how to book them. So I take, for the most part, 2-3 color clients max. And I book them. It takes me about an hour to an hour and a half for application, but I book 2 hours in between. So that way I have that extra half hours just in case if it takes a little bit longer, or that way I can just prepare for my next client to come in and I'm not in a rush, or the client's not waiting to be seated, that I'm still finishing up my first client. So I have 10 o'clock, then at 12 o'clock, then 2:30 to 3:30, depending on what I'm doing. And then I'll maybe take a haircut or a toner at the end of the day. And I like to finish my day around 5-6 o'clock. So that way I have an evening. And this goes back to my experience. Me not feeling like I'm all over the place with tons of clients being booked all at once, but also the fact that I can finish up early in the day, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I guess, and still feel like I have, time to go to dinner or work out, whatever it is that I want to do for me time, my experience as an artist.
Yeah. And I bet that just listening to you, you're just really trying to balance, or you know what? I actually am not into the word balance because it always makes me feel guilty if I'm not balanced, and I am never balanced. And I know you're a Virgo, so you also striving to a perfection, which that is the worst enemy of the world. But I'm listening to you, and you probably, what I love about what you're doing is you're working by design. You're very strategic. Because you had to organize. You had to learn how to become very organized. If it's the one thing that I think we're lack doing, is sitting down, spending time, and looking at your week and organize your a year ahead. You have a plan for a week ahead. Like, how many weeks do you want to work? How many days do you want to work in a week, right? So that's kind of like where you start. But then most people will come to you and it's like, well, listen, Larisa, I love you to death, but I can't afford to only take 3 or 4 clients or 5 clients a day. I love for you to speak about that because I know what you're going to say, but I want everybody to really listen to what Larisa is going to say now, because this is like, it's either leaving or dying.
So first of all, like me showcasing how I do things now is all trial and error. I obviously was not like this prior, and I learned as I go. So also what works for me does not always work for the other person. But when it comes to I can't afford to only take a few clients, then that's when it's time for you to raise your prices. When you elevate yourself as an artist, if you are good at what you do, then, and if you booked out a couple of weeks in advance, or I would say 4 weeks in advance, it's time to raise your prices. You can work less time, make more money, quality over quantity always.
Always.
And if you feel like you can't afford to do 3-4 clients, it's because a lot of people think that you're not worth your prices because you don't think you're worth your prices, if you can't raise your prices. And so work less, but take less clients. Yes, you're going to lose the clientele, but the ones that actually think that you are worth it as an artist will stick with you. And if they don't, some will, but not all, you'll have more room to actually fill in with the ones that think you're worth it.
I love that. And it's so true. I've been a salon owner, a coach, a consultant. And as you know, I'm a profit Jedi. So when it comes to profit and money, I love talking about that. But I've gone through the evolution of it. I've gone through being a stylist. I've gone through owning a salon. I've gone through different types of salons, small, big, large, close, go, whatever. I've done all of that. And I will tell you, and I know you support me on that, that um, you can't afford not to. You can't
Mhm.
afford not to. If you want to be a healthy, wealthy stylist or a healthy, wealthy salon owner, you have to look at what your revenue or what your cost is, and when is it going to become profitable, and how you can design your hours to be very profitable so you can enjoy the harmony. And so I'll go away from balance and I'll come back to harmony, where you're happy, where your body is happy. And we talked about it before we went on the show, but I love you to share. So what do you do now? What is your routine, a good healthy routine for you for a week?
Well, I mean, I'll just give you like a breakdown of my week in general. Prior, like years ago, I used to work obviously psycho crazy hours, and I wouldn't even give myself days off sometimes at all. Work from 8 in the morning, finish sometimes at midnight, start all over again. And yeah, you know, you got to pay your dues in the beginning. You got to obviously really work hard, and harder than you will later on when you're a little bit more successful, or sometimes not. But you can't really pick and choose as much in the beginning. But when you can, you know, it's really important for you to say no more often, step back, give yourself a day off, not just one, because that one day you're doing errands and everything that you need for the week, at least two, if not three. I work Tuesday through Friday, and I start my day at 10 o'clock. Instead of 8 in the morning, I'll start at 10 so I can sleep a little bit. I'm actually thinking about starting 11
Wow.
next month. And well, I started booking my clients for 11 for the month just to see how I feel.
Yeah.
And then on the weekends, I have my weekends, or I'm doing, you know, things for Joico or traveling, hopefully more than not. But having 3 days off in a row, I feel like has really helped me. But I find that you don't have to do what I do, but I find that at least having 2 days back to back is really healthy. Having an evening where you actually can have dinner, you know, or some type of outside of life outside of work, with your significant other or your friends or just for yourself, working out, it's really healthy, you know. And I find that we glamorize so much of not being healthy. We work 12, 14 hours, we're such bosses. That gets tiring. And if you want to be a long-term hairdresser, you got to start taking care of your body now. And I'm 31, so I'm not crazy young, but I'm not that old that I can at least start now. Better late than never. But stop glamorizing overworking, because it's not cool.
No, it's not cool.
And just working less, working smarter, not harder, I feel like is the answer.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that. And, you know, I hope that that's going to be one of your classes when you're on stage in front of everybody at Chicago. Maybe we'll talk about that. I know that when we're going to be doing our panel, which we're going to have some major powerhouse in the panel, and I'm super, super excited that you're going to be one of us there. You know, we're talking about vision, and we're going to talk about innovation. What does it feel to be beyond the chair? How can we create more sustainable life and be friendlier to our environment and more profitable? But how can we impact the future of our industry and the people around us? So if anybody is considering that maybe there's maybe a thought to come or not to come for Chicago, yeah, no, you have to come, because just along, Larisa is going to be teaching you how to do some innovation thinking behind the creative world, but also about how to become a better stylist and a healthier stylist. And of course, we're going to listen to so many great innovations that you have done this year that is different. And I love that the two tips, you know, of the new menu. But who knows, Larissa, we might create like a nice new retreat for all of us where we can learn how to be more healthy, more, you know, get a better beauty into ourselves, into our bodies, and be more impactful around us.
I think it's so important that self-love is obviously the most important love. And how can you teach or love others or give love into your art or your creation when you don't even have it for yourself? So even just like the little things of drinking water throughout the day, not just coffee. Eating, actually giving yourself a good 10-minute break if that's all you really can squeeze in, instead of, literally like eating all your food with one bite. Really take the time to chew. Like, it's those little things that make such a huge impact in your life. But it all starts from within, and then you can go and give that out to the world, create more beautiful art, more love into your artistry or your whatever work you're doing. It doesn't even have to do just hair, just in general as a person.
Yeah.
And I feel like the more you are within yourself, have self-love, the more you can showcase that and give it out to the world. But it all starts from within, and that's speaking from myself too. I've been there where I was not healthy, and I'm still to this day, I'm not gonna lie, I still struggle with that, because I feel like when you love what you do so much, you kind of put yourself last because you're so passionate about what you're doing in the moment. But I literally step back all the time where I'm like, okay, I need to take care of myself. I need to drink water. I literally like speak to myself in my head all the time, bringing myself back, because it's so hard to get kind of psyched into this world of overworking and not taking care of yourself.
Oh, I totally agree. I had to go every time that I'm doing Huddle Time. It might look like I know how to do it, and I've been doing it for a long time. But I'll tell you, the day that I first got into doing Huddle Time, which was about, I think it was 13 months ago, and I have not missed a day, just so you know.
Wow.
But I was scared shitless from getting up and interviewing anybody, because I don't even know my technology, streaming. I mean, StreamYard. I did everything you can possibly. I've learned. Okay, I've done a lot of learning. But even today,
I would say you definitely seem like a natural to me, so I wouldn't think you otherwise.
I feel good now, but let me tell you, before I even came up, I had to take my dogs, take my water, go for 15 minutes walk, and just really be present about our interview together, because yes, I research, yes, I do all the work, but if you're just going to go from one client to a client and you're going to be back to back all your life is going to pass you so quickly. So it was important to me me thinking about and be intention and about, what am I going to talk to Larisa today, other than regular conversation. I don't want to have a regular conversation.
I love that.
I want to have a phenomenal conversation. And just from, talking to you for the first 5 minutes, already you and I created something. So I think that it's so important to be in the present of every day. And like you, I struggle. I can literally work for 24 hours.
I think a lot of people struggle, not just in our industry, in any industry, in just life in general, we struggle. But as long as we are at least understanding and realizing that we're in a struggle, instead of just pretending like it's not there, that's really key. Life is never going to be perfect. My life is not perfect whatsoever. But as long as I'm acknowledging the fact that I'm trying, I think that's what's really important there.
So what are we going to teach at ABS? What are we going to do?
Well, I'm going to be teaching one of my techniques called Rounded Out Method. And, for me, I like to simplify techniques. I find that what we're taught in beauty school is so overly done. Whenever I hire anyone as a co-artist assistant, I always let them know, whatever you learn in beauty school, take that out of your mind, because I'm going to completely retrain the way we think, because we overcomplicate things. And I like to simplify techniques and just simplify the way that, the placement of the color is going to be, and really strategizing towards the client's actual hair, and not feel like we have to do exactly the same thing on every single client. It's really uniquely customizing it for the client. So this technique is called Rounded Out Method, and it's a blondie technique. It's about color placement, also making sure that's customizable to the client. But it's a partial, which I like to call pick me up, but it looks like a fool when your hair is worn down or up. And it's literally so simplified, and I feel like it gives you the most beautiful blended dramatic results without having to overdo it with a million foils, a million sections, a million highlights.
I love that. Is that somebody that that a stylist can take home with them and use it instead of doing like an hour and a half foil, and can do it in 45 minutes and get very close to the same results?
Oh my gosh, less than 45 minutes. And if not,
Wow.
better results. And it's literally great for any type of client. It's great for to bring up the color, or for someone that is starting out with color and has virgin hair. It's great for anyone, really. And I just want to simplify things, create a look on how to have a beautiful blended tone without relying on a shadow root. I find that a lot of people, for me, I feel like shadow rooting is like fixing a problem. You know, I want you to have beautiful blended results without having to apply a toner over it to have beautiful results. So I'm excited to teach this. This is a technique that I do a lot on my clients, and you can utilize it behind the chair right away for any type of client.
That's awesome. I'm definitely going to tune into that one. So anybody, typically what I do when we're right at top of the hour. So what I would love to do is I would love to run you through a quick answer questions. Those are fun. All right.
I'm ready.
Cool. Are you ready?
Let's do it, baby.
All right. What sacrifice did we do to be where we are?
A lot. Sleep, friends, boyfriend, husband, all of it. Family, dog, time for yourself, all of that. A lot of sacrifice.
Yeah. Things we wish we didn't do.
Oh my gosh. That's a hard one, because I don't really regret anything, because it's all such a learning lesson.
Well, if you told your old self next time, skip that one, which one would be?
Ooh, this is a whole topic in itself, but owning a big hair salon with a big team.
Got it. All right. What do you wish you can do more of?
Travel. Right now, definitely travel. That would be my number one. Yeah.
Where will you go, Larisa?
Anywhere. Take me anywhere in this world. I'm not stuck to one place in this world, and I feel like being in LA for so long, I'm going a little crazy. Anywhere.
Are we talking Costa Rica? Or are we talking Portugal? Help me.
We're talking everywhere, both places. Let's go.
Okay. Let's see. What is life all about?
Happiness, honestly. Whatever that means to you, as long as you're happy and people around you that you love are happy as well.
What does success mean to you?
Happiness as well.
Yeah.
It's not about money. Money, yes, definitely helps with happiness and makes your life easier.
Oh, for sure.
But it's truly being happy. I know a lot of rich people that are not happy, and a lot of poor people that are happy. So,
what drags you down?
Down? Just being uninspired. But being uninspired relates to not traveling, because traveling is what really inspires me. So I think inspiration is the worst thing for me.
I love that. That's so true. I'm a gypsy myself, and I love traveling like so much. Now, what elevates you?
I think just helping others, living through my mistakes and teaching others how not to create them, elevating people, not just our industry.
What do you do when you're in a funk?
Normally I travel, but when I'm in a funk now, I think I just take time for myself. I will literally take a day off and figure out what it is, because I don't want to push myself and get worse. I want to figure it out.
Yeah. And what do you do when? What do you want to learn more in life?
Everything. I'm so not knowledgeable in so many things. I definitely don't know it all. Anything and everything. I want to learn how to cook. I want to learn how to be more kind. I want to learn how to listen better. I want to learn how to give more. I just want to learn how to be a better person.
Yeah. Well, Larisa, you're amazing. Thank you so much. These were all great lessons, especially the final answers. I think they're so focused, and you answer very authentically. So thank you for that. I really appreciate your time. You're amazing. Um, Everybody, I'm super excited and super stoked to see everybody at ABS.
Thank
Um, and Larisa is going to be there. Larisa is going to do, I think, what you do a few classes, or is it? No, you're doing one
I'm
big
just doing one.
stage, and we're going to be on stage together. So on the panel, I'm super excited for that to happen. And thank you so much, Larissa. I can't wait to air us together.
Thank you so much for having me, and I cannot wait to see you at ABS next month. Woo!
Yay! Woo! Bye, everybody. Hold
Yeah,
on, Larissa. I'm just going to take us off.